Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. Mom and I are really grateful that you can join us for another week. And we are super excited today. We are welcoming back Karen Noé. She was on a previous podcast with us where she was telling us a little bit about her story with Wayne Dyer and some of that. And today we're going to talk about some compassion and love and things like that with her. So, welcome back, Karen. We're super excited to have you on the podcast with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me back on.
Yeah. So what have you been up to since it's been a couple of years, I think, since we last were on with each other. So
Wow, a long time.
A lot has been going on, but recently I've been traveling, doing classes all over. I just came back from last weekend, Omega Institute. Did you ever hear about that? That's just, I spoke about how to increase your intuition and psychic abilities. So that was fun. I've been traveling. I'm going to be in Lilydale. That's a
Ah,
place where mediums join in. That's going to be in the end of August.
beautiful.
Going back to Omega, I'm traveling a lot and so forth. Going to be in Kripalu. That's all. I know you're in Canada, but these are all places in the United States. And keeping busy writing my next book um, called The Oneness Solution: Healing a Divided World Through Love.
wow.
Ah,
And I
So
feel
that's
like
great that
that
we're talking about compassion. Yeah.
yes. And I feel like that is something that we really do need to read about and talk about because there's so it seems seemingly in the world right now there's so much division and it's kind of a like it's my way or there's no way. So, having that oneness to be able to hear each other and I think is so important.
yeah.
Exactly, because in reality, we are all one. It's no right or left or brown or white. It doesn't matter. We are souls and we are all one. After we leave the physical body, we'll feel that oneness in an instant. So why can't we live that way now and create peace in our lives and in the world around us as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was interesting yesterday. I was at the gas station getting some gas, obviously getting gas. And this lady, we were just chit-chatting, and then she started talking about, you know, uh, Edmonton has the biggest Muslim school, and then she was talking about, Muslims coming into our country, and then like the more she was talking, the sicker I felt because I'm like, okay, like, should we not be like, instead of putting these walls up, where can we find this acceptance to
Integrate it.
be welcoming
Yeah.
people and
Exactly.
finding out about people and their culture and the good things of it instead
Absolutely. I
of
totally
it
agree.
going to the next.
Embracing differences.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So how
Yeah.
do you do that as a everyday thing?
It's just part of what I look for. It depends on what you're looking for. And I'm looking for love and solutions and all of that. So everyone comes, everyone, we're all souls. Let's go back to that. We're not different colors or different nationalities. We are souls. And if we treat each other as such, if we remember we're basically love and peace, and those who are not love and peace are the ones who have forgotten who
Right.
they are.
Yes.
The
And
God within us, we all have God within us.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, we do. And so, is there a way then that we can, when we show up in the world, to teach these people that have forgotten?
That's a very good
Good
question. I
question.
wish I could teach. I've been trying. What happens is we have to see through the eyes of every person that we meet to see where they're coming from. Why, as I was stating before, I'm in the United States. Why are people coming to the country? Because they want to seek refuge, and they're here for a reason. They're here, and none of us are. As a matter of fact, let's go back and say all of us are immigrants. None of us have been here since the beginning of the United States, except if we're Native Americans, and not many of us there. So to understand and embrace different nationalities and cultures, sexual orientations, and all of it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Just treat everybody
Equal.
equally,
With the
like
respect that they deserve.
It's
absolutely.
interesting though, trying to treat people equally. Like I'm a person when I go out, I try to smile at people. For two reasons. Because I feel like smiling is one. And the other reason is to see how people respond to that. You know,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting because, some people look at you like, why are you smiling at me?
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah. And it's like,
Somebody's smiling. Oh my
yeah, why
goodness.
would you be happy, right? And then some people look at you and they take a minute to look at you and then they smile back, right?
Right.
And then some people just give you that look, you know. But, you know, so it's really interesting to try to do it because it's a motivation for me too, and almost like a study to see how many people out there actually do have a little bit of compassion and caring in their and how they are as on an everyday basis sort of thing, and how they reflect out to the world, you know. So
Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes, when you're smiling, somebody doesn't respond.
right.
My first thought is like, what are they going through? Are they going through something difficult in their life? Trying to see through their eyes. Because sometimes I get hurt too. It's like, what? Trying to be nice and they're not smiling back. So sometimes it's important to look through their eyes, say, maybe they had a rough day. Maybe they're just not a happy person. But let's extend that kindness to everyone we meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
on that one because it's just so important that we show up. And I mean, we cannot, we are human on this plane, and so we can only do what we can do. But I think if our intention is to show up with kindness and compassion for people, that is a good start to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Because remember, we are vibrational beings, and whatever we're thinking and feeling, we're creating more in our lives. It's the law of attraction. So
Yeah.
if we focusing on more kindness and loving people, we'll create more kindness and loving people in our lives. Sometimes it's not easy. You have to keep focusing, keep trudging along, and then say, "Oh, what am I thinking?" I did we cover this last time? I wasn't sure. We talked about Wayne Dyer, but it's really important about our thoughts create our reality. And if we're part of the mass consciousness, because we are all one, when we change ourselves and we become more loving and positive, we're actually creating a more peaceful world because we're all connected.
Mhm.
So if we start right there, just starting with ourselves, becoming more loving and peaceful, and sometimes it's not easy, but to keep trying, keep doing it. Never mind trying, keep doing it. You're creating a more peaceful world.
Yeah. And I agree with that because when you see somebody walk into a room that has that vibe, that has that peaceful, loving vibe, it shifts the energy in the room instantly. It's like, oh, they're
Yeah.
a happy person, you know? It's like my mom,
Yeah.
she's always joyful and she's
I
laughing and
try.
she's right. So when she walks into the room, even if the room kind of had a lower vibration, it like sparks it up because she's one of those people that can
Thank
do
you.
that, right?
Thank
And
you.
so
Yes.
I think we need more of that, like you say, like for that vibration to go out.
I find
Exactly. It
I
just
find I find too as women we don't communicate enough with other women on a mutual level sort of thing. So it like back to the smiling thing, like I smile at mostly women because I think that we should be sisters, right?
yes, yes, I
So,
agree.
but if you smile at women, try it out.
I'll try it. I'll
Try it
try
out,
it.
and you will
Yeah.
see that we don't connect in every level with women, and it's a sad, sad story
Wow.
where we should.
I'll keep you posted. I'm going to try this.
Try it. Thanks. Thanks. Let me know.
Yeah.
Let us know. I'd love to know how it reflects back to you,
Okay.
because I know how it reflects back to me, right? And again, it's about boundaries, compassion, caring. All of that
Yes.
should come together, right, with what we're doing with all of this. So, yeah.
If somebody smiles at you, would you frown at them? That
No,
I
I
can't
just love
imagine
that.
that,
No.
right?
From
Yeah.
my head, you know, like, nice, thanks, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Right.
So how do you practice being in vibration then when you show up in the world? Because I know that that's a huge part of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question because in order for those listeners, if they don't know who I am, I'm a psychic medium. And in order to connect with deceased loved ones and the angels, we have to be more on par with the energy of who they are, which is only love and peace and so forth. So one of the big things that I do is one, seeing through the eyes of others. Let's talk about that a little bit. We may not understand why they do what they do, but I try to see through their eyes, like what happened in their lives that created this. After we leave the physical body, we'll go through a life review where we'll be able to see how we've affected each person through their eyes as if we are that other person, because we're all one. So if you feel that, you feel that oneness in an instant. So we could do that here, take it here, and try to see through each person's eyes,
Hmm.
have more compassion, forgive. And I always use that same saying that it's not the snake bite that kills us, it's the venom that's left behind, isn't it? So if somebody hurts us, and if we hold on to that, that's hurting us, no?
Hmm.
So I don't know about you, but I don't want to hold on to that at all. That lowers my vibration. Some people say, well, but this person did this to me. Maybe so, but you're hurting yourself by holding on to that, right? And as soon as they let go of it, they feel better because
Hmm.
this person did this person did this. Let it go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to be in toxic relationships, not at all. I'm saying stay away from the people who are hurting you and so forth, but forgive them for you, right? There's so many other things we could do. Just treat people with respect, smile, like you said, smile at them and so forth. Go outside in nature. That's a big one.
Yeah.
You know what I love to do is go barefoot in the grass. Sometimes it helps you to ground yourself. Did you ever do that?
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't have the nicest feet, so I don't do it. I do it when I'm by myself in my backyard. I have one toe that's curling over. I'm like, oh boy, what
Why do
getting
you
old.
do that?
That's one of my favorite things to be out in nature and to just put
Yeah,
bare feet on the ground. And last
yeah, it's
night,
grounding.
I know this is airing later, but from when we're interviewing, but last night the full moon was so beautiful. It was like there was this red tinge to it, and it
Wow.
just so magnificent. So I actually went and sat outside and just had a conversation with the moon and just felt like it was almost like there was a beating of the moon and my heart was attached, and it was just such a
Oh,
beautiful connection. So I think that goes to what you're saying, is to get out in nature like
definitely.
that and experience those kind of things.
Now that you're talking about that, I don't know if you've been experiencing by you, but by us, maybe a few months ago, we've been seeing drones, a lot of drones at night. Have you been
No,
seeing that as well?
No.
we're a little bit
I'm
out of
like, this is,
the
yeah. I'm like, this feels different than drones. I don't know. I'm looking up. I'm like, I don't know how you feel about extraterrestrials. What's your say on that? I'd love to talk about that too.
totally
Because I'm
there,
like,
totally there.
Yeah, I totally believe, and I had an experience
absolutely.
one day driving home from work, and I was
Yeah.
coming over the hill, and then all of a sudden the clouds were there, and it kind of come forward. It wasn't clouds, and then disappeared, and I was like, "That's so cool." So I'm like,
Exactly.
they are definitely here and making themselves known more, I believe.
I think they're here to protect our planet. I really do. I don't think I know it. Let's say it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, have you
Interesting.
felt, have you felt any?
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to tell you a story. When I was just a baby, I was only like a week old. My mom was traveling with me to see my dad. And anyways, they were going along the highway. And she's all of a sudden, this ball of light came out of the sky, hit the fence, and they both went aback. Like, she looked down at me and she said, I was the alien in her arms.
It could be.
And she said, I screeched because it was like, my God, right? And she says, by the time I screeched and looked back, you had gone back to normal, And so she said
That's pretty cool, actually.
it is
Yeah.
very cool. Because she always told me, I think you're from another world because nobody's like you. Which,
I want to say something, and that's not even, I think it might be so because there are many people here on the planet, and we could talk about everything on this podcast, right? So
Yeah.
they don't necessarily have to come in a flying saucer. We have many of them here, and we've forgotten who we are.
Yes.
If you believe in reincarnation, do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah.
yeah.
So why would we keep coming back to Earth? There's so many planets up there, right? So that's what I feel. You probably aren't. For
Yeah.
that to be, I think that's so cool. And
It's
why
very,
do,
and we're indigenous as well. So uh,
oh, wow. Wow.
it's kind of interesting that the two of them came together, sort of thing like that. And, Yeah, I totally believe in extraterrestrials.
Absolutely. And why do they say you're different? That they think you're,
My
and
mother
by the
used
way,
to, she used to
let's
always
not
say,
call them aliens. We'll call them, because alien feels like they don't belong here.
Yeah.
These
that's
extra celestials. So why did they think you're an extra
it was my
celestial?
mother. She said when I would misbehave, she said, "You're definitely an alien from another planet." You know, when I misbehave. So,
Oh,
because I've always been a very high energy individual, anyways, right? So,
right.
I guess I was so sometimes hard to keep down, but
Well, that's probably always been your attraction to the sky and the stars and things like
moon,
that, right? Because that's home,
Absolutely.
right? And that's for me,
Absolutely.
moon is that way for me is like I
Yes.
just feel such a connection that I'm like,
Yeah.
I know that I'm of this world, but I know that I'm also from other
Yeah.
worlds as well.
Yes. Yay. Yeah, I love that. Yes, absolutely. One time I was meditating and I open my eyes and I see this. I'm going to share everything here.
Yeah.
A little being, gorgeous, but people would say if you look at a picture of it, it would be frightening to them because it looked like an extra celestial. But I looked at it and I felt the most profound peace that I had ever felt before. No words were exchanged. It was telepathic almost. This only happened once. And I said, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And this is the part I'm trying to understand. But it said, "I am you." And I said, "Okay." But there, I thought it's like we're all one.
Yeah.
So they're a part of us, we're a part of them as well. But there was absolutely nothing to be afraid of. And I've always get like when somebody says alien, I said, don't call them aliens. They belong here. They're not aliens. Aliens mean somebody from somewhere else that doesn't belong. There are no aliens. Even in my country, there shouldn't be any physical aliens from other countries. They belong.
That's
And aliens from other planets and so forth.
That's
No
right.
aliens.
And that's all about being one, right? And showing love and compassion as
Yeah,
well for like
correct.
rather you're, from this country or from wherever, it doesn't matter. We should be welcoming everybody.
yeah,
Other star
Yeah.
systems, other, how many earth angels do we have walking on earth right now? And, it's just it's a crazy time to be alive, but it's a most beautiful time to be alive too, because I think we've become more accepting of some of this stuff
yeah,
now in this age. That's a wonderful thing.
yeah,
Yes, I agree.
yeah,
I wanted to share another a dream I had. We're talking about extra celestials, but I was brought up Catholic, right? I'm now a more spiritual than religion, but at that time, I said the Our Father. I don't know if you're aware of the Our Father and all of
yeah.
that. So in the dream, some beautiful gentleman with the gorgeous blue eyes, he said, "I'm going to teach you how to pray." I said, "Oh, I know how to pray." This was maybe 30 years ago. I had this dream. And I said, "No, I know how to pray." He goes, "Okay, say the Our Father." And I said, "Our Father, what, that." He goes, "No, you say it like this, and you put your arms up. Our Father, our Father." And in the dream, I felt like zap, 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 zap. Who art in
Vibration.
heaven? And I just kept feeling zapped throughout the whole prayer. And then I looked at him after the prayer and I said, "You're not from here, are you?" And he said, "No." I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "Andromeda." And with that, and he said, "And so are you." And then somebody called me, woke me up, and I was able to remember the dream. So
Yeah,
this is my fascination with
yeah,
Yeah.
extra celestials.
I love extra celestials because
Yeah,
it's such a beautiful way of putting it,
it
right?
is.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I wish they would. Supposedly they're going to be making themselves known now. So
And they
I
are.
wish that would happen soon.
I
Yeah,
feel that they are. Like last year, I had a premonition about the stars becoming and the moon phases and stuff, not just moons, all the planets coming closer to Earth, and we're seeing a better picture of them. And this is happening already. And I think
yeah,
that the extraterrestrials are doing the same thing. They're coming in and they're watching as things are happening, like you said, protecting us. Okay.
yeah,
Making sure these things aren't hitting Earth. They're staying outside of our
yeah.
orbit, right? So yeah, I think they do protect us and they do watch over us because there's so many of them already here. And they're
And
touching.
some of them have forgotten who they are. Could be you, could be me, who knows? But we come in a physical body, but you could tell the difference. They're usually a little bit more, Is your mom different?
Oh yeah.
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 In what ways? When I say different, it's a positive thing. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I
usually more
think all
psychic.
always, yeah, she's always been very psychic, very intuitive. Always people are drawn to her energy. People have like my whole life, all my friends wanted to be at our house because they just
Aw,
they just loved her energy, right? She had such a loving kindness out of her heart, and she just drew people in, and it didn't matter where we went, people just flocked to her. So I knew right from a young age,
Thanks.
you're getting teary-eyed. I knew from a young age that she had this energy about her that drew people in. So to hear,
yeah,
maybe she's not of this world per se, you know, doesn't surprise me.
it wouldn't surprise you.
Yeah.
A lot of times they come to make a difference in this planet. You think does that sound like you too? To make a difference, to raise the vibration, I think what you do, but your kindness, you're smiling at everybody, you're making the world a better place.
Yeah, I've always been somewhat of a gypsy where I wanted
Mm.
to see, I wanted to feel, I wanted to do, and I just couldn't get enough of this world, of the essence of every type of essence of the world. So when I come into conflict with somebody, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, sort of thing like you need to come back down somewhere and plant yourself because you're obviously not balanced, right? Sort of
Right.
thing. When I see that in a person, I often look at them and go, I feel sorry for you because I do. That they're so unhappy, and when somebody makes me unhappy, I think the same thing. Like, why do you want to make me unhappy?
Yeah, see, yeah,
I like to be happy, and you're trying to make me be down from what I am. You know,
right,
so you have to always touch back in with boundaries and things like that to make sure that you're focused.
absolutely. That's perfectly said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that this is exciting. We could talk about my favorite subject here.
You bet.
I've always,
Absolutely.
what's weird is I've always been psychic, as a child. We touched upon this, I think, last time that my father used to take me to the racetrack and I picked the winning horses. Now I'm an animal activist. I don't go to the track for many years. Um, but about 25 years ago, I was going through a difficult time in my life. And I sat at the edge of my bed and I just yelled at God. I said, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? And with that, I saw a light that came towards me from the other side of the room. And as it was coming towards me, I said, if you're not of God, please leave. But what I meant was, if you're not of positive, of the light, because we're all of God.
Mhm.
It was back then, I didn't realize that. Now I know we're all one. But I meant that if you're not of the love, you don't mean me well, please leave. But the more I said that, the more it kept coming towards me and eventually enveloped me. And I heard an audible voice that said, Lucia Lucina, Bella Lucia Lucina, which in Italian means light, beautiful little light. And
Oh.
I've since learned it was St. Francis of Assisi who's been guiding and protecting me, and my psychic abilities were greatly enhanced and so forth. But these are all indications that something's different about me. Right after that experience, my psychic abilities were greatly enhanced. I didn't resonate. I got divorced after that. I still love my ex-husband, but think about this. He's a lawyer and I'm an airy fairy medium. So that's what happened. But I became vegetarian at first and a vegan, didn't go to the racetrack, and all this was just within me. Things were happening, and I became so much more psychic after that experience. And I don't know if you've ever heard of walk-in experiences. What a walk-in is, it's almost, I don't know if that's what happened to me. I'm not sure. I do know that I changed from that point. You hear somebody said they saw the light, but that's what happened. I saw the light. It wasn't a near-death experience. I didn't almost die, but I had the experience with the light, and I see everybody of the love, who they are, which is beautiful and love. So that's what I try to see, even if they're angry or saying things that
Aren't
are
nice.
not right to me, negative about other people and so forth.
Mhm.
but we try to see them for who they really are, which is God within them. And that's what we have to do. If we do that, we raise the vibration of the planet. Every one of us could do that.
That's right. And like
Yeah,
even going back to that lady at the like at the gas station is like, what is she fearful of? Like, obviously she has all this fear. So I just kind of, as I was walking away, was like, I'm just going to send you some love and light because I think you need that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
and there was a reason that our paths crossed, that she felt, pulled to talk to me about things. And I just, maybe she needed some of my light to say, you know,
that's true.
but she said when she finished, "Do you think I'm racist?" I said, "No,
Well, no, no, but
because I think you're
you can
scared."
tell by your face whatever she was saying. So it was a negative thing about what was happening, right? It wasn't that, oh, we have all these different nationalities coming in. She
Yeah,
was like, oh, this national, right. So she saw by your face.
yeah. And I was like, "No, but like just
Yeah,
love and light to you," because
right. That's it. And maybe she, like you said, maybe she needed that.
yeah, and I think too, instead of, because I could have left that in a different way, I think, and then I think this is some of the thing with becoming a oneness in this world is,
Yeah.
if I had looked at her and been like, "Oh my gosh, you're just,"
Right.
and then just not been accepting of that communication,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not listening to her point of view, doesn't mean that I need to accept it. It just means that I can just listen and be like, "Oh, I'm like,"
Trying to see through her eyes is what you did. Right?
exactly.
No judge. We're not judging anybody, right? You weren't judging, but it was something that you didn't resonate with.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it kind of just like was like, I just don't like to talk about other
I
people."
think too,
Did
some
you say that
I
to her?
didn't.
Oh,
No, but I probably should have.
I
she
think
saw your face, though.
Yeah.
She saw,
some
yeah,
people need to be heard. They just need to be heard. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Nobody's listening to them, or they have that thing of nobody's listening to them. So then when their communication comes out, something easy like that, she saw that you're that light person. It was like, "Brrrah." Some people
yeah,
get,
yeah. That's
"Oh."
true.
So maybe she just needed to be heard too.
That's true. Sometimes when I'm here in the United States again, and when somebody says something like that, or what I say is, oh, I just like to know why you feel that way. And then I try to hear where they're coming from. I don't say you jerk. I don't say anything like that.
Yeah,
I say what, trying very curious as to why you feel that way and really listen
I
because
love
we're
that.
coming from a different place.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I love that. And then it gives them the
Right.
opportunity,
Yeah.
and it gives us that opportunity to also, "Oh, okay, I understand a little bit more about you." And
Yeah.
About you. Right. And it doesn't mean we agree with what they're saying.
yeah, that's exactly
And then
right.
we could speak up too when they're saying something.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
As
And that's my part of my lesson for this world, is because I do not like confrontation. So
yeah,
I
yes.
would rather, in a lot of ways, be quiet and not
Yeah.
have confrontation than speak up. And I'm seeing with, just conversations around me and stuff, that maybe it's time to, not be judgy, but to
Speak up.
definitely speak up about some of this wrongness that's going on.
You could speak up. I've learned too, because I've been so many all my life up until this point, but now it's almost the point of no return. I've kept things in, but we could speak up in a kind way,
Yeah, we
Yes.
can.
right? Because, for example, somebody was at one of my classes and they said, "Oh, immigrants coming into our country, they're all criminals or something." And I'm like, immigrants aren't the only ones that are criminals. And, people from the United States are criminals too. So what do you think? And I just stated very nicely. And they're like, oh, that's true. I didn't yell at them. I just said, yeah, yeah. And then I checked, you know, and I said, no, not criminal. Oh, immigrants are not criminals. No. Um, there are many Americans that are criminals too.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Canadians.
right.
Yeah, it goes
We could
all.
go further with this, but we won't right now.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
I find when somebody says to me, "Oh, those brown people or whatever, they
Yeah.
did this or that," and I say, I know, but there's lots of white people that do that too.
Exactly.
I
So
like to
you're speaking up too,
Yeah, I like to
right?
respond back to it because just as many ignorant white people as there is brown, red, everything
Oh,
else, right?
yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
have to be any specific color that's
Gosh, no. Because in reality, we are no color. We're no nationality. We are not. We are souls.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's our wrapping paper, for goodness sakes.
It
We
would
come
be
from
so,
different backgrounds. How beautiful with different parts of the rainbow. That's wonderful. It's the
yes.
way it should be.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be nice if we could all just like if we could all be on this earth plane and just be looking at each other through our soul vision to say you're a soul and it yeah, everything falls away other than that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes, it's right, exactly. But when we leave this physical body, we'll see that we are all one. And to separate them from us, or even to say, like, just a specific country is better than any other, it's not true. We're all in this together, the whole world, the whole universe.
yeah.
So that's important too. It's
Yeah.
not us versus them, it's we. We are all one. And that's when we talked about Wayne Dyer when he came through for his family and for the world as well. He came through as a group consciousness as well. And basically, he gave us 33 concepts for inner and outer peace. And it basically talks about how we are all one.
Hmm.
There's no them and us, it's we are one, regardless of who we are. Every nationality, every species, too, animals, every color, every sexual orientation, every gender, we're all one.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
Yes.
that's why all these different genders are showing themselves up to make it
Yeah,
that it's
to
not
make,
about sexuality, right? It's
yes,
soul of us and how we are as a person inside, so we don't look at those other ways. We're just
exactly.
the same.
Yeah, yeah. So when you think of it, we rather than me, and what's in it for me, when you are helping others, you're helping yourself as well
Yeah,
because they are part of you.
that's
Yes.
right.
And when you're more loving towards others, you're being more loving to yourself because they are part of you. When you put somebody down, you're putting yourself down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
That's true.
I always remember I heard this somewhere. I don't even know when I was growing up, and it was like when you point a finger at your
Oh,
somebody, three fingers are pointing back at yourself. So exactly what you're saying, right? What you're saying to them,
exactly.
you're saying about
Exactly.
your own self. So I always loved
Right.
that saying. I don't know why.
Mhm. I forgot
And
that,
then
but that was a
sometimes
good
when the
one.
kids were bad, I'd be like, "You are."
I like that.
That's so true.
You did this. That's cute.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think it's I'm so grateful, and I know Mom is too, that we have people like yourself, sharing this light with people and teaching people about this oneness because I think we need to all kind of start opening our eyes a little bit more and finding that love for each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of hoarding it all for ourselves, like the greed and all that, there's more of that. You could share it with the world. And the more you give, the more you receive. If you understand that about karma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you will see. And it's not all about things, it's about being peaceful and feeling the love
Mhm.
within ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's amazing just how that vibrates, like you said, back to you. And it
Correct.
just
Correct.
allows you to have more to even share with other people, right?
Exactly.
So I think,
Yeah.
I
And
think,
of course, we need to pay the bills. We need to do all that. And it's wonderful to be abundant. I'm not saying it's not wonderful to be abundant, but when it takes away from others, it is not so great. But we don't have to take it away from others,
that's
right?
exactly
We
right.
could be abundant and give and receive, and it's just lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
So,
have a question that isn't about that, but so does Wayne Dyer still talk to you? Does
he's been incognito for a long time.
okay.
He's been in touch with the family just here now and then. A few things were going on with the family, and I reach out to them. It's always something very pertinent to what's going on with them. But pretty much he wants me to, that's why I'm writing this next book, because it's almost like part two of a we consciousness,
Right.
because
Okay.
it's really important. He kind of foreshadowed what was going to be happening in we consciousness. If you see at the end of the book, there's um, he did speak as a group consciousness called the We Guys, but he also spoke by himself. I asked him questions and he responded at the end of the book. He foreshadowed what was going to be going down in the world and in the country. So it's all coming to pass and so forth. So he wants us to spread the message of love and peace right now, beginning with ourselves. It
Yeah.
begins with us to become more loving and peaceful. And when we do that, we're making the vibration of the whole planet. We're raising the vibration of the whole planet
Right.
as well.
Absolutely, we are.
Yeah.
I think that's great that you're writing this book. And when will the
Yeah.
book be out? Do you have a date
Still
yet?
writing it. I'm still writing it as we speak. But funny thing is, this is the funny part. No, nothing's funny. Everything happens for a reason. But I've been in practice for over 20 years. And during that time, I've always been booked 2 years ahead of time.
Wow.
Right. And about a year and a half ago, I said, I can't do this. I can't be booked like this anymore. And I have to stop taking appointments at this time. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop taking appointments forever. I'm going to be on hiatus. So I'm still honoring all the appointments I've had, and that's going to end at the end of January, which will give me time to finally finish this book, because now I'm never home. I'm doing appointments all day, and it's again, I don't think it's not a coincidence.
No.
No,
The way the universe works in ways to conspire to make things happen. So
yes, they really, really do. And
right?
it's so funny. Like I have to laugh all the time when different things happen. And it's like, oh, okay.
Right? It just like fall into place, or you meet the right person at the right time. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we think something, oh, why did that happen? And then you look back and you say, oh, thank goodness that happened. Because if it wasn't for this, the other thing wouldn't have
Yep.
occurred.
Thank goodness I got delayed at work, or I might have been in that car accident, or whatever it was, right?
Yeah,
There's just so many different things like that. And
exactly.
I just think I marvel at all of it because there's so much to learn and so much information out there. And I have to say that I just like it expands my mind and it feeds my soul to learn all this information.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have she says, such a kind, mild nature. Um, so it's always a pleasure to hear what she has to say. It's yeah, it's true. Just be
She's
mild.
like her mom, kind.
Thanks.
Thanks, but she is kind.
True.
Yeah. I can see through you like you're very psychic. Like I
Yeah.
see in your eyes when I look at you, it's like I'm looking into and I'm channeling through you. Your clarity is amazing. Just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I hope your book is very successful and I think it
Oh,
will.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Once it comes out, you'll have to come back
Oh,
on
I will. I'll let
talk
you know.
all
I can't
about your
wait.
book because
This is going to be one of the least airy-fairy ones because I've written 4 books and they're all about, well, not airy-fairy. Wayne Dyer was a weak consciousness, and Your Life After Their Death, How to Connect with Deceased Loved Ones and the Angels, and all of those books. This one is about pretty much world peace, but it's really needed, but coming from the perspective of a medium.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And your cards are beautiful. So if
Thank you.
anybody's listening,
Thank you.
I got a
Yeah.
deck of them and I love, 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 love them. So they're
Do
just
you,
beautiful
do you
cards.
find that they fly out of the deck sometimes?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
usually I do cards every morning and I kind of rotate my decks because I have a few but I just yeah, yours are just wonderful and they fly right out and the message is like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need.
I love that, right?
Good
You know
stuff.
what else is important? Dreams. Dreams are important. If everybody would have a dream journal and you look back, sometimes, a lot of times, not sometimes, sometimes the dreams are just exactly what it is, but a lot of times they're symbolic
Hmm.
Oh
of
yeah.
what right? Have you ever had those types of dreams that you dream something before it happens or yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do dream journals. So, and I went
good.
through a little period of time though, where like for a long time, I remembered every dream, like,
Mm,
like so minute information, like detail about it. And then I went through about 6 months where I just like hardly remembered my dreams. And I was like, this is really weird. I don't understand this. And I
yeah,
don't like it. Actually.
yeah.
And then just in this last kind of month or so, they've all been starting to come back. So I don't know if I had closed myself down be or
No,
what it
I
was,
think,
but yeah.
no. I think maybe you just didn't wake up after the dream. If you don't wake up after the dream, you don't remember it. So
Right.
that you could have been sleeping tightly or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Right.
had I, I taught at Omega last weekend and we were talking about dreams. And I said, did anybody have any, very special dreams or you dreamt of something that happened before it did? And people are sharing their dreams. They were wonderful examples. Woman was quiet and finally she goes, well, I don't know if this is special. I'm like, share it, share it. She goes, okay. And she said, she dreamt of her husband's. I hope you could follow this because she said it perfectly. I hope I say the story as good as she did. Her husband's friend in the dream had a white suit on, and he had a woman with him in a wedding dress, and they were on the floor with all blood in it on them. And I said, "Oh my gosh." She goes, "Well, let me finish." So I said, "Okay." So she happened to see her husband's friend at a barbecue, and she said, "Are you getting married?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And she said, and she explained a place where she had this vision. Is that where you're going on your wedding or your honeymoon? He goes, yes, that's exactly where we're going. She goes, don't go. He goes, "Mm." And he said, why? And she told him the dream. So what he did was he booked a room like a couple of hours from where he was going to be. And it ends up the hotel where he was supposed to be at was bombed. He would have been
Whoa.
dead. Yeah. And I said, and you thought this dream wasn't good enough? Oh my God, you saved his life.
Right?
So
Yeah.
that was profound. I almost, if I would have had a dream like that, I would have been reluctant to share because that's so scary. I would have said maybe something like, oh, maybe be careful. But she
Well,
came right out and said it. And that made him move his room. It saved his life.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah, that's awesome.
Crazy, right?
Neta.
That is
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's always good when you get those messages and can share them to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
I had an experience when I was younger and I was driving, and as I was driving, I the light kind of went red, and then this guy was making a left-hand turn,
Mhm.
and I knew he was going to hit me. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." And then I heard this voice be like, "No, you're not." And I'm like,
Oh,
okay, this is weird. So I drove through. He did hit me, and he did go down my vehicle. And the way that he hit me afterwards, the police said to me, had he hit you directly on your door, you would be dead.
oh my God.
But it was just so funny because once I heard that voice of whatever, an angel or whomever, it was like
Yeah.
I knew. And then when the door wouldn't open, it was like I could feel like an angel in there trying to help me. So it was such a marvelous experience. And I think we have all of those when we're paying attention, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes, that's beautiful. That was an angel.
yeah,
It
so
was an
a
angel
dream,
saying,
but it was a really cool experience
yeah.
from it.
And you know what's wonderful? You know what? I'm so strange. Maybe I'm not strange, but on the weekends, you know what I do? I look on YouTube and I like to look at people who've had near-death experiences because it helps me to remember,
Mm,
you know. So they're all talking about, going through the tunnel, seeing the lights, going through the life review and seeing their angels. And it's my favorite part. I love to and how they changed after they came back into their body and so forth. And I like doing that.
yeah. And do you think that some of that even like because it seems like it's probably just more talked about now, but do you think that sometimes some of these near-death experience is in part to bring some of this we consciousness to the world and to make us realize that we are just one?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a great question because they're here, they came back for a reason, right? And many years ago, they were reluctant to share their messages, what happened to them with others, because people wouldn't listen. But now people are open for the most part.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Well, it has been so much fun talking to you. Can
As
you
always.
tell, as always, yes, you have a wonderful thing. I wish I'm really envious, and I know Mom is too, that you're going to Lilydale, and
Oh yeah,
that's
we love
we
Lilydale.
went once and we loved it, and it would just
Aw,
be amazing to be there with you.
Yeah, it would be great.
I
So
would love to see you in person one
Oh,
yeah,
day.
so fun.
but can you tell everybody else where they can find you?
If you go to my website at KarenNoe.com, that's KarenNoe.com, and you'll see all the places I'll be visiting and teaching at, and about my books and so forth.
And you're
Um,
also on Facebook as well.
I'm on Facebook at Karen Noe. Well, two Facebook pages, my personal Karen Lazzarini Noe, and then my business one is Karen Noe Author, and on Instagram the same.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And so one of my new favorite questions, if you had a final thought for everybody to leave with everybody, what would it be?
I just would love for everybody to remember who they are, that they are pure, they have God within them, and they could create miracles in this world. They just have to remember. And the rest, you'll see it. Be patient and wait, and you'll see what I mean.
That is wonderful. So
Yeah.
thank you again so much for joining Mom and I. We
Yeah,
really appreciate it. And
Come back
pleasure.
soon.
yeah, we look forward to future collaborations with you. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Yes, you
You too.
too.
Thank
And
you.
everybody else, we will see you the next time.